What's up, what's up, what's up? It's your boy Domuto. We're back with another video. Today, we are watching We Will Never See Anything Like This Again by BLTV Extra. You know, we watched BLTV Classic or in Extra on this channel before, so it's been a minute. So I know I had a lot of, viewers. Viewers on those videos. So you know what I'm saying? Let's get into it.
Don't blink an eye.
We love boxing around here.
I'm back.
Welcome back to another Top 10 Countdown here on BLTV Extra.
I'm going to knock him out. That's all it is to it, and that's the bottom line.
It's been a while since we've done one of these. Okay, it's been 7 years.
7 years,
but
damn.
Better late than never, and this is a series I'd love to finish before I see out my last days reading the Ring magazine while smoking a pipe around the fire.
And it's going to be something that we all will relish in history. Later years, we will reflect nostalgically about these magic moments.
In today's video, we'll be counting down the top 10 greatest boxers of the 1980s.
Okay.
An era following a golden generation of heavyweights.
In order?
But infamous for
In
birthing
order?
some of the most iconic pound-for-pound legends in the sport's history.
Tommy Hearns, he was a bad
Tommy
motherfucker.
Hitman Hearns.
And then bang, he would hit you with that right hand.
I've done my due diligence with the ranking system, and my criteria will heavily lean toward resume, with a sprinkle of skill, dominance, and personal preference on top.
The majority of it, everything's bullshit. I just want to fight as soon as possible.
Let's get right to it.
And like before we get into the video, like you can't really, people gonna complain about, oh, this guy should be here. You can never make an accurate top 10 list of any sport or anything without any controversy. You know what I'm saying? So let's see what he got. Look, I'm not gonna know half these people, but we gonna see. Salvador Sanchez. I heard that name before.
At number 10, we have one of the greatest phenoms the boxing world has ever seen. A fighter with the complete package. The flawless, faultless Salvador Sanchez.
Mantequilla. Salvador Sanchez, no too much, but I don't see. I don't.
Due to passing away at such a young age, Sanchez doesn't quite have the global
RP.
recognition as other fighters listed today. But boxing elites and old heads know, with his immaculate technique and awe-inspiring career trajectory, he was on a path to become not only Mexico's greatest ever boxer, but one of the finest that ever laced him up,
That's
period.
fire.
The best fight I ever saw, honestly, skill-wise, was a guy by the name of Salvador Sanchez.
Sanchez turned pro in 1975, but reached his peak in the early 80s, running rampant through a stacked featherweight division while beating Hall of Fame greats like Wilfredo Gomez and Azuma Nelson.
Okay. Like he ain't playing around. He fucking
Sanchez made 10 straight world title defenses and was on a run of 25 consecutive victories before he sadly lost his life in an automobile accident at the tender age of 23. It's scary to think what this man would have gone on to achieve.
Sanchez, this has made him really special to me and everybody else that knows his style. If you're a halfway fighter, decent fighter, you might last the distance. As good as you are, the greater you are, the more he kicks your ass.
Okay, Michael Spinx. We seen the video of Michael Spinx. I might have that.
Michael the Jinx Spinx
at the end of the
takes
video.
our number 9 slot for his legendary
Mike
run
Tyson
at light
whooping his
heavyweight
ass.
in the mid-80s, which was capped off with an
He was
undisputed
good, though.
championship, and then further followed by doing the unthinkable of moving up to heavyweight and dethroning the great Larry Holmes.
Okay.
Spinx was a workhorse. He had an incredible engine with significant punching power at light heavyweight, contributing to an outstanding 11 world title defenses, defeating fearsome rivals such as Eddie Mustafa Muhammad and Dwight Muhammad Kawhi.
I like Michael Spinx a great deal. I admired him a great deal, watching him as I was a kid, you know what I mean? Having a great deal of admiration for him.
Spinx would deserve a slot on this list if he just called it a day at light heavy, but the fact he moved up and beat Larry Holmes in his first fight at the 200-plus pound division elevates his legacy exponentially.
I have been hit hard by some heavyweights. Found no pleasure in it.
Yes, the fights with Holmes were controversial, but you can't deny his effort in pushing a heavyweight ATG like Holmes all the way and then some. Spinx wasn't the prettiest fighter to watch, but the man's relentless pressure and drive to win every second of every round made him a force to reckon with.
Now, from going from light heavyweight to go to heavyweight and
well,
beating
it was Mike Tyson.
heavyweight champion.
Need I say any more?
Yeah.
The poor little guy. And they start feeling sorry for me.
You're milking it.
Yeah.
Aaron Pryor. I never heard this one.
Similar to Salvador Sanchez, Aaron the Hawk Pryor was another boxer famed for being a perfect all-rounder. His pressure fighting and powerful combination punches were so impressive that it was easy to overlook his immaculate positioning and footwork.
Pryor, perpetual motion, he is right on top of Arguello, who gets off the ropes.
Repping Cincinnati, Pryor endeared to fans around the globe for his frenetic hurricane-like fighting style that has been likened to that of the old-school legend Henry Armstrong and has never been replicated by any prizefighter since. Pryor was a monster at junior middleweight, particularly in the early 80s, as he knocked out every man he fought, including Antonio Cervantes and Alexis Arguello.
Arguello trying to cover up. A smashing right hand. Arguello's helpless against the ropes. Arguello's hands at his side. It's over.
Pryor doesn't have the strongest resume on the list, but he deserves a spot for his incredible all-action style and utter dominance during his prime.
Who are the 5 greatest boxers of all time? We got to go Pernell Whitaker, Roberto Duran, Aaron Pryor. Yeah, Aaron Pryor. But the only reason why Aaron Pryor lost the fight was because of drugs. He lost only one fight because of drugs.
That's crazy. Hector Camacho. That last name sounds familiar.
Coming in at number 7, in my opinion, the most underrated fighter of his time, which is criminal considering how glaringly obvious his greatness was, Hector Macho Camacho.
I keep telling you, I'm a 3-time champion, because I'm the Macho Man, and I'm dominating the game. It's my time, Macho time.
Camacho is remembered today for his emphatic, outgoing, wild, and extravagant nature, both in and out of the ring. However, underneath all the grandiose showmanship laid raw talent, hand speed, footwork, stamina, all non-negotiably best in class.
That's so beautiful. He hurt. Target practice with the jab, a good straight left.
This nigga fighting in panties.
A great show of boxing by Camacho.
Camacho turned pro in 1980 and proceeded to dominate across 3 weight divisions for the entire decade, beating a long list of Hall of Fame legends, all without losing a single time.
Damn.
I would say a 1985 version of Camacho is about as close to perfection as we've seen in a boxing ring for a long time. Because, on top of his exceptional offensive prowess I mentioned earlier, he also had uncanny resilience, drive, and boxing acumen. His fight against Edwin Rosario in 1984 is one of my favorites in history. A night he showed he could box like Mayweather, Ray Leonard, Rocky Graziano, Sugar Ray Robinson.
Hey, that cold?
You name it. That kid could do it all when he had to.
Don't blink an eye, because Macho Man.
They say he was fighting in the 80s. He turned pro in 1980. That nigga cold. Hearns, okay. I heard about him. I know him.
An absolute freak of nature, taking our number 6 slot.
You know what I'm saying?
A real fan favorite of his time.
He whooped Martin Lawrence's ass on the Martin show.
Standing at 6'1",
I knew him and Haggler had like
78
crazy
inches,
ass
the
fight.
same as the heavyweight legend Muhammad Ali. Thomas Hearns was one of the most physically gifted boxers the welterweight, yes, welterweight division had ever seen.
Oh, what a shot! And maybe out the right hand and delivers.
The sheer power this man could naturally generate was ridiculous, but it was then taken to the next level by Emmanuel Stewart of the Kronk, a knockout specialist that transformed a gangly string bean into a force of destruction that wreaked havoc across 5 weight divisions.
Because it was coming out of fucking nowhere.
Detroit hitman, Tommy Hearns, he was a bad motherfucker, dude. And then bang, he would hit you with that right hand.
Whether it was welterweight or light heavyweight, Hearns always looked like a guy that was fighting 3 divisions above his opponents. A staple of the 4 Kings alongside Haggler, Leonard, and Duran, you can make a case that Hearns was the most significant group member due to his participation in the saga of fights being the most iconic.
They just went at it from the get-go.
His war with Haggler is regarded as one of the best in boxing history. His rivalry and brilliant 2-fight saga with Ray Leonard proved his boxing ability, which was topped off by the destruction of Duran, which solidified his status as the hardest single puncher of the 4 Kings, making the man that had previously beaten the great Ray Leonard look unworthy of sharing the ring with him.
On instinct, though, Gil. He's just hanging a big right hand. That's it, Tim. The fight's over, Tim. A huge right hand by Thomas Hearns.
Right, Holmes.
Larry Holmes takes our number 5 slot for his long-reigning dominance as heavyweight champion past the 70s golden generation.
I would say, was he more in the 70s? I mean, I knew he was in the 80s, but I guess he was doing thing in the 80s, huh?
I thought as time passed, the world would have realized just how great of a champion Holmes was. But here we are in 2023, and you still get a sense that, for whatever reason, people don't want to acknowledge his masterful boxing skills and resume that puts supposed modern-day greats to shame.
But everyone knows Larry Holmes was a legendary fighter, and if he was at his best, I couldn't stand a chance. He was a great fighter. I admire him very much.
Holmes became champion in the late 70s, beating Ken Norton in arguably one of the greatest 15-round title fights in heavyweight history. However, for me at least, his run in the early 80s of beating what appeared to be every undefeated heavyweight on planet Earth is what makes his extensive title reign the second best in history behind Muhammad Ali's.
Larry Holmes will kill you, literally kill you if you let him.
Holmes used his perfect fundamentals to dismantle the careers of talented rising contenders such as Trevor Berbick, Ronaldo Snipes, Jerry Cooney, Tim Witherspoon, Bone Crusher Smith, and Carl the Truth Williams, all of which had a combined record of 110-2.
There's no one in the world today could beat me.
If you don't like Larry because he beat an aging Ali, fine. But don't try to pass off
That's
your
the only reason they don't like
by
that
downplaying what any real boxing fan will tell you was one of the best runs as a champion across all weight divisions.
If we're gonna go heavyweights, I'm gonna be honest, I got to go Larry Holmes. Because Larry Holmes beat everybody in this era. That man had the basic fundamentals. He had the jab, and then Larry Holmes came back and beat a lot of young guys too. Even though Tyson got him, he beat Ray Mercer.
Like Tyson.
Little introduction is needed.
Whatever we got him at. All right,
as the heavyweight icon, Mike Tyson is one of the most famous athletes of all time. Based
the 80s? He's talking about the 80s? No. Oh, we got, yeah. Sugar Ray got to be up there. I guess he'll have Haggler. Who else? Roberto Duran? Over here, I guess.
You often hear the words phenom or generational talent being thrown around every time a young athlete makes his mark. But in Mike's case, describing him as either or both is still a disservice. This was a once-in-a-lifetime level of greatness.
That's it. There you go. Now you got again. Who's the last guy to stop? Time. There we go. That's right.
It was clear out of the gate that a teenage Tyson was going to be a major player in the heavyweight division, stopping most of his opponents in 1 or 2 rounds while displaying near-on perfect technique to impress his trainer and mentor, Cus D'Amato. However, what I find most impressive looking back on his career is the way he maintained the same level of dominance once he stepped up to championship level.
Bangs the body. Wow, with that uppercut of Tyson. Catches him with the right left hook, and he goes down. We've got a brand new heavyweight champion of the world.
Becoming a champion at 21 years of age, Tyson broke the record for becoming the youngest heavyweight title holder in history, a feat that no one has come close to matching, nearly 40 years on. Belts and accolades aside, people will most fondly remember Tyson for his ferocious fighting style, explosive and direct, but in the same breath, efficient and dynamic.
Got the curl juice out of his
head.
So
accurate and so precise, you have to go down because it's a law when Mike Tyson hits you.
An absolute dynamo, he could hit like a truck, but was built in an old-school way to absorb as much as he gave. Tyson also had a very good resume, stacked with the who's who of the division's entirety, but it's often put down because he beat them so emphatically. I'd recommend my video series on BLTV Classic if you want to learn more about
watched a bunch of those. We watched all of those actually.
I hold him in such high regard.
We watched all those actually.
So all-time greatest.
Number 2 is gonna be the man with a 19-inch neck, the man with quads that made people say, "Don't skip leg day," the man with a chest that made you have to get your suits tailored, the beast that will knock you out of a left or right. You know what I mean? Iron Mike Tyson.
Okay, Julio Chavez. I didn't know what that is.
Coming in at number 3, we have Mr. Mexico himself, the grand champion, Julio Cesar Chavez.
I think I heard his name. Never mind.
He's about to go down again. Chavez landing with left and right.
This was probably my most difficult fighter to rank because he was so exceptional in both the 80s and 90s. However, the fact he finished his 89 season with a record of 67-0 makes it a challenging feat to overlook for this list, despite some of his most notable wins coming down the line. Chavez was a boxing extraordinaire, a relentless pressure fighter that could fight a phone booth-style fight, remarkably, without getting touched. As the old-timers would say, you couldn't hit him in the backside with a handful of buckshot.
Parisi missing widely with the combination, and Chavez again invites him in.
Damn.
And look at this head movement by Chavez. Chavez just playing.
At one point, Chavez had an 87-0 record, which fans often point to as his most impressive feat. But for me, it was the names next to the W's that cemented his legacy. Roger Mayweather, knockout. Edwin Rosario, knockout. Jose Ramirez, knockout. Meldrick Taylor, knockout. And the list goes on and on.
87-0 is
There
crazy.
wasn't a single fight that the fans wanted to see that he didn't entertain, spanning 25 years across 5 weight divisions.
And Chavez is one of the best. He could be the best Mexican fighter of all time. He's right there.
Haggler, I knew you would have Haggler in here. Marvin Haggler.
After some tough deliberation, marvelous Marvin Haggler takes our number 2 slot. A middleweight king whose career was forged in blood, guts, and an unwavering will to succeed. Haggler endured a rough start to his career, suffering 2 of his 3 losses during the preliminary stages of his professional journey. However, it was the adversity early on that created a monster, a man 100% committed to being the best version of himself every time he entered the ring. No cutting corners, fully dedicated to training and destroying the men put in front of him.
I realize now what they want to see. Every championship fight, they want to see a knockout. They want to see somebody knocked down. They want to see somebody beat up. So, hey, they're talking to Marvin Haggler. They're talking to the right man.
Haggler had solid fundamentals and crushing punching power. Still, it was his brutal toughness that sapped the souls of his competition, leaving them no option but to either stand and trade with the monster or run for the hills in the hope that he would run out of steam. Spoiler alert, he never did.
Bobby just stands and Haggler won't move back.
Damn.
A test of wills finally, the continual assault. Marvelous Marvin Haggler.
Haggler won the WBA and WBC middleweight title in 1980 and then proceeded to reign as champion for the next 7 years, taking on all comers, including the remaining bunch of the 4 kings. Haggler beat Duran by decision and Hearns by knockout, but unfortunately lost a contested decision to his arch-rival Sugar Ray Leonard in his very last outing as a pro. For the fans that thought he won the fight, they saw his exit in the game as retiring on top, unbeaten on merit for over 12 years.
I am one of the greatest, and when I'm done with this game, I would like to go down in history as the same way.
Regardless, Haggler was the embodiment of how far hard work can take you in any given walk of life. He had an elite mentality. It wasn't that second place wasn't good enough. Second place wasn't an option.
Marvin Haggler made you want to just get out of your house and go running in the snow. He was so mentally strong, he had an iron chin, and his discipline was impeccable.
Of course. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Coming in at number 1, the sweetest sugar since Ray Robinson. The only man I could put my chest out and proclaim would have whooped Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s behind. The meanest nice guy in the sports history. Mr. Sugar Ray Leonard.
Ray Leonard.
We doing numbers like the box office. Nigga, you ain't trying to box, then stop talking.
So long, Timber.
My mind is on Hannibal Leg, demand of respect. I'm taking your life, let you hand me a check.
Sugar Ray Leonard was pure boxing excellence from the very first moment he entered the ring. He had the hand and foot speed of a flyweight, with the ability to crack and ring IQ.
I remember watching that documentary with him and Roberto Duran.
A good right by Leonard. A good right. Stuck Duran. Duran in a fury. Going after Leonard.
Ray Leonard burst onto the scene in the late 70s and was instantly branded as a like-for-like stand-in for a then-aging and over-the-hill Muhammad Ali. He had big boots to fill, but did it with flying colors, wiping the floor with credible contenders and champions from start to finish in his short and stacked 40-fight career.
I mean, quick.
10 seconds. He's hurt right here. Got him down. Maloney is down. first time he's ever been knocked down.
Leonard will best be remembered as the most successful of the four kings, being the only fighter in the group to hold victories over the other three. It wasn't easy. There were a lot of controversial decisions along the path, but he just had a way of looking like he was in control even while he was being walked down by some of the most relentless pressure power punchers in the sport's history.
Four kings,
and for what it's worth, I thought he beat Haggler fair and square in '84 and Hearns in their officially scored draw rematch in '89.
Hey man, Ray Leonard's one of my favorite fighters. Just his skills, his talent, and a lot of people don't recognize his grit.
The only drawback for Leonard was the fact he was a diva, seen as an angel by the boxing public, but a master manipulator by his peers. One minute, he would offer Haggler the chance of a lifetime to fight him. The next, he would decide to retire for undisclosed reasons, all while maintaining the position of the A-side fighter, regardless of his inactivity. Either way, Leonard will be long remembered as one of the best fighters to ever lace him up, a symbol of raw talent and the epitome of first-rate athletic ability.
Okay.
So when I see you, I love you. It's like I worship you. You could throw two punches that sound like one. He would throw a punch. You can hear them. There were two, but they sound like in one punch. You know how magnificent your speed has to be for that. Oh no, you inspired me so much. I saw you fight to Red. It changed my life. I said, this is what I'm gonna be because of you. Who are you? You might not think you know, buddy. I love you. I've been jealous of you all my life because you're so beautiful. You stupid. You don't even understand, man. You're immoral to me. I can't even talk.
Damn.
Thanks for watching. If you're wondering why certain fighters weren't listed,
crazy.
Check out my video for the list of the 90s box.
And then Mike Tyson got the most noble cigarette Leonard. Like I said, my knowledge of boxing is very limited, so I think the list was pretty good to me. You know what I'm saying? From what I know, like I said, I thought Mike Tyson top 3, but you know what I'm saying, I didn't know about Chavez or something, whoever the guy number 3 was. But yeah, these some great boxers, man. Regardless of where they at in the list, and you know what I'm saying. So wow. Anyway. If you want to watch his Mike Tyson videos or other boxing videos, it'll be here. So check it out, and I'll catch you next time. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and peace.